All right. Well, since it's right up at the top of the hour, and you know, I think we had about 125 or more register for today's call, but those that are late are going to miss some crucial stuff at the beginning. But all right. Well, welcome everybody to tonight's Camtasia Quickstart webinar. I am Michelle Schoen. I'm an instructional designer, an instructional technologist actually at learncamtasia.com and co-owner along with Lon Naylor. And we teach all things Camtasia and PowerPoint. And we also talk about a lot of other little video tools as well. So if you're willing to delve into some other tools, Lon is always recommending some new things that come out. So I've been doing this about 8 years and started selling Camtasia as a reseller about 5 years ago, I would say. So I want to thank all of you guys that are here for purchasing through my reseller link. I'm going to go ahead and let you know what we're going to be talking about on the webinar. It's probably going to last about a little over an hour, I would say. And the first thing that I'm going to share with you is your bonuses. And just to make sure everybody's got everything, I have my assistant Leslie on the webinar right now. So if for some reason you never received the email with your bonuses, you can type it in to the question panel and Leslie will do a quick check and make sure that that email went out. Then we're going to talk about storyboarding and recording, then editing, effects, and sharing, and then we're going to have a Q&A, and you can ask me anything you want about creating videos. So, while I'm doing the quick start part, maybe you could keep questions specific to what the information that I'm delivering. And then at the end, if you have other random things you want to ask, that's fine too. I'll make sure we have plenty of time for that. When you ordered from the Get Camtasia site, you were promised, I think, 4 bonuses. I rotate these every once in a while. So this time you got the Quick Start webinar, which we're doing now, and the replay will be available. And you also got a month to watch all the videos and attend all the live sessions of the Screencast video coaching program. I'm going to show you where that is. You got this. It's called Screencasting Essentials from Lame to Fame. You got that product. You also got the e-learning video training template, and you got, along with all those tutorials in there, and then you got the video tools resource guide. So inside Camtasia, if you go to learncamtasia.com, that's where you're going to find all your bonuses. Now, I've got everything there that we sell, so this is going to look really busy, but you're going to see the screencast video coaching, the Learn Camtasia Screencast video coaching has tons and tons and tons of videos that you can watch, and also we do a live session every week. And if you like this, you'll get an email at the end asking if you want a coupon code to keep on going at $27 a month. That's completely up to you. There's so much stuff in here that it's going to be really hard to get through in a month. So I hope you'll stick with us. Also, the other stuff you got, I think the screencast video coaching is huge. That's a lot. That'll keep you really, really busy. The other one you guys got was this course. This is generic to screencasting. We're using Camtasia 8 in it, but the basic premises and the best practices are what you really should be looking at. What makes good and bad screencast videos. So this is 4 hours of information on do's and don'ts for that. You also got this, the e-learning video training templates. That is a bunch of PowerPoint templates that I give you to show you the way your courses should flow if you're doing training. So I teach you how to use the templates, and then I give you kind of a master's degree in instructional design here. So there's a lot there. Also, how to bring your PowerPoints into Camtasia, and how to build a list. All right, and this is what Lon and I do to build a list here. We do this thing called joint ventures. It's our #1 way of getting people to subscribe to a mailing list where we can start communicating with them and, you know, inviting them to stuff, giving them free things and all that. All right, and then you got the resource guide. That is just filled with all kinds of, the screencast resource report filled with all kinds of assets and places to get free this and free that and minimal cost this and animations and all that. So you should have fun in there. Karen, I'm just looking at some of the things, so I'm gonna let Leslie handle some of those questions that have come in. All right, so is there any question about the bonuses at all? Or if you didn't get them, just, you know, go ahead and put that in the question panel and we'll take care of you. All right, good. So I'm going to go ahead and close this window so we can go ahead and get started. And this one. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and work on a project. So the first thing I want you guys to notice in your GoToWebinar Dashboard, you know, the thing that there's a little blue flower down at the bottom of your taskbar. If you've minimized it, you can click on that the blue flower and pop it back up again. There's a few different panels in there, like questions and, you know, a thing to raise your hand and audio and all. And there's one also called handouts. All right, so there's 3 handouts in there I would like for you guys to download. One of them says Camtasia Workflow for Newbies. I know that a lot of you guys are not newbies. Most of you guys ordered the upgrade from the Get Camtasia site, not the brand new one, so I know at least you've had some experience in Camtasia, so that's good, but it says newbies anyways. Then there's a Word document called Create a Table Storyboard. That's just a storyboard for tonight. That's just to have something to work with. And then there's a PowerPoint in there that, because I would like to be able to show you how to bring PowerPoint slides into Camtasia, because many of you guys will be creating videos using the animations in PowerPoint or using PowerPoint templates, and I want to make sure that you can get them into your Camtasia project if you want to. All right, so go ahead and download all those, and in the meantime I am going to pull up this first one here. This is your Camtasia Workflow for Newbies. All right, now here's the thing. This is generic. It's not specific to the project we're working on, but that's okay because I wanted you guys to be able to follow this for your own projects. This is my workflow, step by step with the order that I do things, plus a few little tips. Obviously, this is not, you know, a full Camtasia training on one sheet. There's millions of things missing from here, all the little tiny things. I'm hoping to share a lot of that with you on the webinar tonight, but keep in mind we only have about 1 hour together plus Q&A time. Normally when I do Camtasia training, I do it over a full day. And people come in, I can usually do it with one person in about 4 hours. So you're kind of getting the quick and dirty, but you have so many more videos that I have included in your bonuses that you will get lots of additional information from those. So by the end of 30 days, especially of being in the screencast video coaching, you should have everything you need to get going. All right, so I'm going to move this over to my other screen. so that I can be looking at it and going through it while I'm doing the work. All right, and you can print it out if you have a chance to print it out. That's fine. If you don't, that's okay. You can just have it open and look at it every once in a while. All right, so the first thing you want to do, or what I do when I set up a project, is I start with the folders. All right, so I keep a lot of my projects on the desktop, and many of them I keep under my Dropbox account. But for this particular coaching, I am going to keep them out on the desktop where it's going to be easier for me to get to. So I'm going to choose New Folder, and I'm going to name it what the name of this project is. The project that is how to create a Microsoft Word table. Okay, so I'm going to say create a table. I don't expect you guys to work along with me unless you want to. If you have 2 monitors, well, you may want to do this. All right, so inside here, if you look at your Camtasia for newbies, you'll see that I create 5 folders. Okay, so I right-clicked. I'm not on a Mac, so I'm on Windows. I'm sorry, if you're on a Mac, I can't tell you what you do for right-clicking, but so I make all these folders. One of them is going to be called Recordings. The next one is Produced. I can do these in any order. It doesn't matter. The next one is Project File. The next one is Media, and the last one is Narration, because I record my narration separately from my visuals. That's a personal, what's the word I'm looking for? That's a personal choice to do it that way. If you know your topic extremely well, then you may choose to record them at the same time. All right, so once I've done that, I am ready to pull up my storyboard. Okay, your create a table storyboard that you have in the handouts, you can take a look at that. This is what it looks like. All right, this is it. This is just simple. I always create a storyboard before I create a recording. Just make it a simple table, narration on one side, what's going on the screen on the other side, usually a row number in case I'm working with a client. He can say on row 3, blah, blah, blah. So we don't have to say, on that row where you say blah, blah, blah. So this is literally a 1-minute video here. So we can actually go through all the steps right here. All right, I want you to notice that I say here this particular video for this row is going to be created later with a webcam. I'm probably not going to do that tonight because I forgot to brush my hair and put on makeup, so we probably won't do the webcam part. All right, now this screen is it going to be a PowerPoint screen, these 2 screens? All right, so I'm going to show you that later. I'm actually going to start the visual screen recording right here. All right, so you can follow along with me if you want to. Let me move this over to the other side so I can take a look at it. I'm going to open just the Camtasia 9 recorder. See how you can get it over here from the side? I'm in Windows 10. For you, it might be under the TechSmith folder. So I'm just going to open the Camtasia recorder, and it appeared on my other screen. So I'm moving that back here. A couple of things I'm going to want you to do in here. Go under Tools, go under Options. Under Program, okay, it is automatically checked, this Hide Preview window. I want you to uncheck it. This allows you to choose where you're going to be saving your video. You didn't have to do this in Camtasia 8. Now you do. You have to uncheck that. I want you to uncheck that. All right, and then also, let's see, over here. Oh yeah, I'm telling people where I want it to save, okay, to my desktop, but it's going to ask me, let me see if there was one more. It's going to ask me where to save it because I've got this unchecked, so it's going to let me save it where I want to. All right, now on my computer, on Windows 10, F9 is not working as a pause button. It brings up something completely different. So I really need to change this to something else. And also, this stop is supposed to be F10, and I changed it to Control S. I just made that up because F10 was not working. In Windows 10, it just something else appears when you do that. So I needed to. Now, these hotkeys just mean when you're finished doing the recording, you can use those hotkeys to just either stop the video completely, say you're done, or you can pause the video with your other hotkey. All right, so now we've got those taken care of. So I'm just going to record the screen right now. That's what I do first. So if you're looking at your Camtasia Workflow, that's under the handouts for those of you guys who might have came late, you can see it says open the Camtasia recording, and if you're recording the visual and the audio at the same time, yeah, you are going to find your microphone. I have the Logitech right here. That's what I'm using. Recording system audio means it's going to record any sound coming out of your computer. But I'm just recording the screen right now. That's all I'm doing. So I'm going to uncheck system audio. I'm going to say do not record microphone. Okay, most of you guys will forget to do that, and that's okay. Don't worry about it because you can get rid of it later. So now I'm ready to record. I can change my screen resolution if I want to. It's a little easier to have it at 1280 by 768. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to mess with it, but where you do it is in Windows. Let me see, I just got Windows 10. I think it's under display settings. In an earlier version of Windows, I think you right-click and just choose maybe a screen resolution or personalization or something like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and record, and I'm going to follow my storyboard. So you can see these dotted lines all around my screen. It is ready to record. I hit full screen. And I'm going to look at the questions in just a minute as soon as I do this recording. Okay, so I'm going to hit the red record button, and I'm going to move my mouse slowly and deliberately. No funky moves, and only move it when I have to. All right, so this is what I have to do to open up Microsoft Word. It'll be different for you if you're on an earlier version. This opens up Microsoft Word for me. Okay, you know what? It came up on my other screen, but that's okay. I'm going to move it over here. Okay, and on my Word, I have to click blank document. All right, so now according to the storyboard, I'm inserting a table, something like, I think it said 3 across, 5 down, something like that. All right, and so normally I'd be looking at my storyboard the whole time. I've just done this a lot of times, so I'm just doing it kind of from memory. All right, so the shading, I think, is right here. I'm going to choose this color, and that's it. Wait, there's one more. I am going to go to Microsoft at the very end to this page and just show the Microsoft community. All right, now that's the end of my recording. Since I haven't really set up my hotkey yet for just stopping it, or I don't remember what it is, I'm just going to grab the recorder and hit stop. Now, if you make mistakes, don't worry about it, just keep going. All right, so you know, I don't keep stopping and starting over. I just hit pause and I just keep going from where I was. So there's my recording, and I'm going to choose just save as. It's going to let me choose where I wanted to save it because I made those changes in the recorder, remember? If you didn't make those changes in the tools part of the recorder, then it's going to default. It's just going to save where it wants to save. All right, I'm going to save it here in the recordings folder because I want to choose, I want to make it say go where I want, not where Camtasia wants. Okay, so I'm going to hit save. All right, if you didn't do that or you can't find your recordings for some reason, I'll tell you where they are. Well, at least for me, it's been defaulting to my OneDrive in my documents under Camtasia Studio. That's where these recordings have been going. I don't know where yours might be. I don't know how it decides where it's going to send it. So good, I've done my recording. So that's my workflow. So now you know, now you're just following along with me here. Now I want to let you know that on number 3, I've already created the PowerPoint screens and I've let you download those. This here is the 3 oops, came up on my other monitor. One second, you guys, while I drag it over. All right, these are the PowerPoint screens that I created in advance. This is my title screen. This is kind of an introductory screen, and this is like the goal of the lesson. So I created these 3 in PowerPoint, mostly because I'm comfortable working in PowerPoint. You may already have some things in PowerPoint, and I will show you how to get this into your Camtasia shortly. These screens can also be created in Camtasia if you'd rather do that, and I'll show you how to do that too. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and import this recording that I did. So I just hit the import media, and you know I'm moving quickly, you guys. I hope that you realize you can just watch this later at slow speed if you want to, and pause often if you want to follow along with me. All right, so I go to the desktop. There it's in the folder that I created called Recordings. See, being very organized here. Open it up. There it is. I am going to right-click and add it to the timeline at the playhead. So there is my recording. I think most of you guys have been in Camtasia curious as to, you can just use the raise hand icon. How many of you guys know enough to just sort of understand what's going on here in the interface? Oh, maybe put it another way. Who wants me to go over a little bit what these areas are? By a raise of hands, who would like me to go over what is what going on there? This is where you see your video. You can pop this out if you want to. See, so you can work with it a little bit more easily. Move it around, make it different sizes. If I want to, I can just pop it back in again. This is where all the media is in the media bin here. This is where your recordings, your audio, your images, everything is going to fall in here. These are all the tools that you can use to edit your video. And this is like a stretched out film strip at the end. Like this is the beginning of your video, and as I drag this playhead along, you see your video is playing. So there's your video down there. We're going to have multiple tracks here. We will be stacking things on top of each other like a layer cake. And you will see that shortly as I bring in the audio, and it just the whole thing just gets higher and higher and higher, and you end up with track 2, track 3, track 4, and that is the way Camtasia works. There's some nice video tutorials that they have already created for Camtasia Studio over at TechSmith under Support Tutorials, so I suggest that you take a look at those to learn a little bit more. All right, so the next thing I want to do is create my voice narration. I am wearing a headset. At the beginning of your screencasting career, a headset's fine. I got my Logitech ClearChat from Walmart. But once you start doing this more often, I suggest you spend between like $60 and $100 and get a nice USB microphone. I suggest either the Snowball or the Blue microphone or the AT2020. Lon and I use the AT2020. You can get that at Amazon. All right, as you can see, it's picking up my microphone. It's doing just fine. It's playing at about the right level. I don't want it to go too much in the blue. I'm going to go over to my script again. All right, and I am going to read it. It's only 1 minute, so bear with me. When you start the voice recording, you won't see your script anymore. It'll kind of disappear, right? So that's why I like to use 2 monitors, so I can see it on the other monitor. But for those of you who don't have an extra monitor, just print it out. Just try not to get the sound of rustling paper. All right, you want to be in a nice quiet room with carpeting, curtains, have the microphone really close to your mouth, but speak across it, not down into it. You might want to buy a pop filter because a pop filter stops the puh noises that go into there. You can remove some of the background noise like air conditioning or humming of a computer using the voice narration noise removal feature. So that is in there. I also sometimes use Audacity. Audacity is a free tool that you can download, and it has lots of different audio effects that will help you sound like a radio announcer. All right, I'm going to move this, now that you see it here, I'm going to move this back over, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to intentionally make a couple of mistakes in there. I want you to listen to a very strange little noise that I make. When I make a mistake, there's a reason behind the noise I make. Don't think I'm a lunatic, okay? All right, here we go. In our department, you'll use tables to organize the health data for all employees. In this brief tutorial, you're going to learn how to create a table with shaded rows using Microsoft Word. Begin by opening up the Microsoft Word program. From the menu bar, click on the Insert tab and choose the table icon. Click on the drop-down arrow and choose Insert Table. Choose the number of columns and rows you want in your table and click OK. If you'd like to add shading to your column titles, drag your mouse across the entire top row to select it, then right-click. Choose Borders and Shading. Click on the Shading tab. From the drop-down, choose a color for the fill color, then click OK. Now your table is complete. If you'd like more information on tables, you can head over to the Microsoft website at microsoft.com. Please answer the following question to test your knowledge. Now that you know how to create a table, please click the button below to go to the next lesson in this series. Oh, darn it, you know what? I forgot to make my little funky noise. I'll just tell you what it was. I got so into my script. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to save it, and then I'll tell you what I do. I can't believe I forgot to do that. Okay, narration. All right, so create a table. All right, save it there. All right, so you see how the narration came out? If yours doesn't look like mine does, then you want to go into Edit, Preferences, and choose Mirror Waveform. All right, I do that so that I can see my waveform a little better. It just makes it like, it doubles it and makes it like a mirror. Okay, so what I normally do when I'm recording, if I've made a mistake, I will actually make this little noise. Hold your ears, block your ears. I go eek like that. I hope that there's nobody in my house at the time. But what it does is it creates a big high spike in the audio, and then I wait 3 seconds of silence. And then I repeat again what I just said. And I do that every time. That way when I'm editing my audio, I just look for the spikes. That way I don't have to listen to the whole thing through. I can't stand to listen to it over and over again. I just want to see where the mistakes are, and I see them. I know exactly where I have to cut out, and I move through it really, really quickly. Also, you'll notice that the screen was not exactly lined up with what I was saying. It wasn't, in sync right? So the next part I'm going to share with you is how to synchronize your audio and video. Now, sometimes what I do, if I'm recording it in Camtasia instead of Audacity, I will go ahead and edit the audio before I start syncing them up. If I've created an Audacity, I'm definitely going to edit it before I bring it into Camtasia. To do that, you're going to lock, see this little lock here? You're going to lock up this track so you can't accidentally cut any from it. And you're going to use this playhead. See, here's a little empty space here. See how I'm just grabbing that little red flag using the scissors. Say I had a mistake. Maybe my mistake was right here. I'm just going to cut it. I can zoom in a little bit to make sure I don't accidentally cut out a word I didn't want to. Let's pretend this is an or something like that. See how precise you can get? Cut it out. I may also do the same thing for the video. Okay, now I've unlocked the video, and let's just say, you know, I have a little area where I'm just kind of hanging out on the screen because I was reading my script and I'm just like, you know, I don't need this area here. Let's make it something, maybe the truth is I probably do have an area like this at the end when I was talking to you guys, so I'll get rid of something that's really get rid ofable. All right. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what this is my GoToWebinar panel. That got recorded in the video. Naturally, if I was doing this for real, I wouldn't have that open, or I'd have it on another screen. All right, so if I want to edit this part, you know, I'll just do the same thing as I did before. I'll just select a little area that I don't want, right, with the green and the red flags, and I'm just going to oops, I didn't mean to hit that. Snip that right out. Okay, so you just cut out all the dead space that you don't need. Now we've got our video screen, we've got our audio screen. Some people like to rename them. Sometimes I will. If I have a lot of screens, see, all I did was this. I just hit unrename track, audio. All right, if I had more audio tracks, I could even use this here to see them. If you see my mouse on the right-hand side. Okay, so now back over to the Camtasia Workflow for Newbies. If you just came in, it's under your handouts. Go ahead and download it. Oh, number 4. Can't forget that. This is very important. I've done a little bit of editing and I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to save this now as a project. I've already saved the screen recording. I've saved the narration file, but I have not saved any of the editing that I've done on them, so I'm going to save that now. I just go save. I go to where I created the folder, and here I go into my project file called Create a Table. Alrighty, save. All right, now I can go, whew, all right, create a table. It's been saved just in case you get a crash or something. Now we don't have to worry about that. Number 5 is to do your narration. It doesn't really matter whether you save the project first or you do your narration first. I went a little out of order there. All right, and this is the place where you can edit, number 6, edit your narration. If you want to, you can do noise removal. If I double click here, oops, and I go to the properties, you'll see that you can make it louder or softer, and I believe the noise removal has moved audio effects. Okay, so there we've got noise removal. You can level it out if you're louder and softer in some places. Fade in and out, that's really for your music. Okay, clip speed, I suppose if you wanted to speed up your narration. I don't think I've ever done that before, but that could be interesting. Let's import the PowerPoints first, okay? Before that, I don't want to forget to do that. Notice that I've got my playhead at the beginning. I hit my Shift button, click and drag. See, this is the way to get everything to move at once. I am now leaving some room for those PowerPoint slides to come in, which are my introductory material. You know, there's a good chance that you may want to create your course title or some upfront information in PowerPoint. I do that often. These don't have any animation to them. If they did have animation to them, to preserve the animation, you would want to do a slideshow recording and record from the current slide. Okay, and that preserves all your animation. You'd get an MP4 file out of it that you can import into Camtasia. There's a great video inside the Camtasia screencast video coaching in the bonuses section that show you exactly how to record from Camtasia, through PowerPoint. So I'm not going to go through all those steps right now because that would take a long time. All right, but what I'm going to do is send these slides out as static images that I'm going to import into Camtasia. So I'm going to go File, Save As. All right, I am going to find the media folder that I created on my desktop. Create a table, media folder. I'm not going to save it as a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to save it as JPEGs, right? I'm going to say all slides. Okay, so it's done it already, right? I minimize that. I am going to bring those now into Camtasia. I'm going to go to the media bin, right-click, import media, go back to my folder, find those PowerPoint slides. There they are. Using the shift click, I've selected them all, bringing them all in. I'm going to bring them down one at a time. Slide 1, slide 2, and oops, I didn't leave enough room for slide 3, but that's okay because the audio actually starts right here. Okay, if you look at your storyboard, you'll see that I actually start doing my audio. I think I do it on somewhere in the middle of slide 1. Okay, so I'm moving this down. You see, it's like a Rubik's Cube. You just move things around. It's like a puzzle. I love it. And I'm going to drag this down here, butt this right up against there, drag this here. Okay, so now I have left a little space in here for the webcam video, which is on the storyboard. It's the first row. I could record myself talking right here and introducing myself and everything. That would be where it would be. And then the rest of the audio starts right about here, talks about the employee health data, tells you what the goal is, you know, that I recorded already, and then starts going through the course. The tutorial, right? Okay, so I've got everything kind of all set, but there's no way that this is synchronized up to those slides, right? Now, some of you are going to say to me, Michelle, why didn't you just record it all at the same time? Why didn't you just record your screen and your storyboard at the same time? Then you wouldn't have to synchronize it together, right? Well, I'm going to say to that, good luck. It's very hard to read a storyboard and be moving your mouse around and clicking on things while you're reading. I find it difficult, so I prefer to do them separately. But if you have a video you're doing where there's not a specific storyboard with narration and you are kind of winging it just because you know what's to say, you know your subject matter that well, there's no reason why you can't record them together. But then you'll have to do a lot more editing in the end because you're going to have a lot of, so you're, all that business, all those filler words will start coming out. You might go off on a little tangent about something. You might leave something out. And so there's just going to be more editing later on. So what did they say? It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, whatever. Okay, so here's what I need to do right now. I would play this video and listen and watch the screen and listen to what I'm saying and go, okay, wait a minute, that doesn't quite line up. I need to move this down here, right? And then I might say, wait a minute, I'm talking about this here, and it only goes, it's really shorter than that. I don't need to play this slide so long, right? So I'm just clicking and dragging and making it shorter. We don't want any black stuff in our video, right? So I'm going to butt this up against it. Then in this case, I might say, oh no, this is not playing long enough. I'm talking too long. So I'm going to right-click, okay? And oh no, I don't have to do that in this one. I can just extend it this way. I forgot. Okay, so then I'm going to listen, and that's the way you work it with the slides. With the slides, you just make them shorter and longer and move them and make sure that they kind of work with what you're saying here. If you have a little bit too much dead time, remember what I showed you before, you're just going to select it and cut it out. Okay, now we get to the screen capture, and no worries, I will show you how to get rid of all this extra stuff around here that we don't need when I talk about zooms. But here now we're trying to get things to line up here. So if I'm listening to what I'm saying, I might be saying, oh wait a minute, I should have said this is my voice right here, see, I should have said this over here. I start showing it down here. Oh, but I don't want to cut out any of this, so I'm going to lock that track up, and I'm going to get rid of this little extra time here. So now, okay, perfect, it lines up now. And now I might be thinking, oh, wait a minute, I start talking about this here, but you know what, I'm not showing it till further down here. So what do I need to do? Oh, okay, well, I need to split. I just hit the split key, and I need to push it down a little further. So there's a little pause in here. Just give it a little pause. And then maybe I'm down here, and I'm going, oh, wait a second, I'm talking about this here, but I'm showing it here, and I need this to last a little longer. I want it to sort of freeze on the screen a few more seconds before I start talking about it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unlock that. I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to extend frame. How long? I don't know. Probably about 4 seconds. It's an estimate. And so now this freeze frame, it did a freeze frame. Right here, this is a freeze frame right here. So it stays on the screen longer for me, for my audio to catch up. Oh, okay, what if, like I get to here and I'm just showing this, getting actually into a word, it's taking too long, I want to speed that up. Nobody wants to watch, you know, how long it's, you know, taking for a word to open up. What do I do here? Oh, it's called a clip speed. Watch this. I do a split there. I do a split there, and I section this little piece out. I right-click, and I speed it up. Okay, I clicked on. I clicked on clip speed. That was a tongue twister, and I want it to try going twice as fast as I was before. So I'm going to hit a 2 there. All right, let's see. There, you just see that? It just made this go twice as fast. It's half of the size it was before. So now it's moving fast. And so now, you know, I'm able to get everything perfectly lined up and exactly where I want it to go. If you don't want to mess with all this, then you really do need to figure out a way to record them together. I've gotten really fast at doing this kind of thing, so I like recording it separately. I like making my audio just perfect from a storyboard. Especially if you're working with clients, you're going to have a storyboard, right? Because they have to prove it and everything. Okay, now let's move on to number 8. We're going to add zooms and transitions and things like that. All right, so we go back to the beginning, say I've synchronized everything together. Everything looks good. Okay, let's have a little transition, a nice little transition between these PowerPoint slides. Why not? That would be nice. I'm going to click on transitions, and I'm going to just go like that. Just now it's a little flipperoo when people look at it. Okay, maybe make one more of those down here. Okay, now I'm getting into the actual screencast. I probably have another one here. Now I'm getting into the actual screencast part. That's the recording of my screen. Okay, who wants to see all this nonsense all around the edges? No, let's just focus on what the viewer needs to see. Oops, I can't put a zoom where a transition is. Let me delete that. Okay, I'm going to put it right here at the beginning. And guys, I'm going quickly, okay? So I'm just doing that so that you guys can, I can put as much in, I'm stuffing as much in this as possible. Okay, so you go to animations to zoom and pan, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little corners here of this zoom thing, and I am going to just move it right here. Okay, but I need to see this at the very beginning because they've got to see where I click down here, right, and open things up. But they're not seeing all this other nonsense. And in fact, if you were doing this for real, you'd have cleared all the icons off your desktop. There's a right click on your desktop where you can remove the icons and make it all nice and clean, so you can look for that later. All right, so as I go along here, maybe I want to zoom in somewhere else. This is where I'm waiting for Word to open up. Locking it. I'm going to cut that part out. Boring, right? This is where it opened up. Okay, I'm going to cut that out. Cut that whole thing out. Okay, so now nobody has to wait. So now I'm here. Maybe I want to zoom in on just where I am, blank document. Did you see that? This is your little zoom frame down here. All right. It's going to stay zoomed in till you zoom out. Okay, I think I'll add another zoom right here so they don't see anything they don't need to see. And there we go. Now, what if my cursor was kind of I don't know, moving around like a crazy person? Sometimes your cursor's not in the right place, especially if you've been speaking off the cuff and you don't have a storyboard. Cursor might not be moving smoothly. I want to get rid of it. All right, in the old Camtasia, you could just hit animation and remove the cursor, right? Now in this one, they've got all your different cursor effects you can do, which I don't even use, but I do like to remove the cursor from, from this video. So as long as I'm in cursor effects, okay, I'm trying to remember. I think this is the way I did it last time. Yeah, cursor properties. I click on the cursor, all right, and I just change the opacity of it. See? Now it's gone. So this is the workaround for not having that animation that actually allows you to remove the cursor. Well, you can still see it there. Now it's gone. Now it removed it for this entire clip. All right. Now if I didn't want to remove it for the entire clip, I would have to use the split to just split out the area that I want to remove it and then apply that cursor opacity animation. All right, so there's your cursors. Now we've got a whole lot of stuff we could put in here. What if at this point I wanted a little kind of cute, I don't know, an arrow pointing to something? I can just drag that in here. Right? See how the properties open up over here? I would probably make it a heck of a lot bigger. Drag the back out. All right, so that's kind of cool. You can drag anything you want to in here. Now, if you want to mess around with text, you just click here, and these days you don't have to work in that little teeny tiny preview window that was over here that you could barely see what you were typing in anymore. You can do it all here in this great big window, and it also comes in a nice font, which is Montserrat, one of my favorites. So I'm going to say, oops, hold on, click on the insert menu. All right, click on the insert menu, and they do have all of the different things you can do over here. You know, the size, the style, you know, whether you want it bold, all that fun stuff. The color is still here. In fact, I think I'll change that because that doesn't show up all that well, does it? Oops. There we go. All right, so that's how you do the text and the annotations. I'm not going to spend any time on this because this is something you can play around with yourself. Just keep dragging them over, play around with them. Notice where they come up on the tracks. They'll build on top of each other like a layer cake, like I said earlier. You can make them shorter. You can make them longer. You can also, oh, you know what? Fade in and out. Oh, you know what? That's now in the transitions. So if you want your call out to fade in and out, you're going to just drop it on the call out. See? Now it does the fade thing. See that? It used to be before in Camtasia 8 where you had that slider to fade in and out. You don't have that anymore. All right, now behaviors is a little something different. So I'm going to just go back to where I have the text here. I'm going to put just a text. I'm just going to put a text annotation in here, okay? Not the, oh, let me try. Is this it? Is this the text annotation? Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to say help, because that'll be a fun one to work with. I'm going to make this darker so you guys can see it. And I'm going to make it much bigger. All right. Now the behaviors, you can make it do all kinds of fun stuff. Ooh, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't think I did that correctly. There. I didn't put it all the way down there. Now you can see it. It shows up red when it's got the behavior. So now I'll play it for you. Okay, so that's really cool. There's a ton of those that you can play around with. You sure didn't used to be able to do anything like this in Camtasia 8. So for those of you guys who want to do all your stuff in Camtasia 9 and not go over to PowerPoint and necessarily buy PowerPoint templates, you can do all those things in there. All right, so let's see. Back at the Camtasia workflow for newbies. Last thing before I start to produce it, I want to let you know that in the library, which is over here now, there's just all kinds of music tracks in here. Very nice. If I wanted a little music at the beginning, this is what I would do. I would put my playhead at the beginning. Let's drag it all the way down here. Double click here so I can get the playhead where I want it. I would bring down the music that I like at the timeline at playhead. Wow, this is a really long piece. I want to see all of it, so I'm doing this so that I can see my whole track there. This is way too long, right, for just an intro, so I'm going to make it lots shorter. Alrighty, I think I'll drag this down to where I can see it a little bit better. And I would like to take this music and have it fade in and fade out. So if I double click on it, what I can do is make it louder and softer, but if I want to do more audio effects, I have to click on the audio effect tab, fade it in down here, right? You may not even be able to see how it's fading in unless I zoom in on it a little bit. There we go. Can you see how it faded it in here? And now I'm fading it out. So it faded it out, and you have complete control over these points here if you want it to have more of a fade, less of a fade. So there. You can do all that kind of fun stuff to it. And I would do the identical thing at the very end. So now I've got some intro music behind my audio. So that's kind of nice. I'm not going to really go into quizzes. I think very few of you guys probably use them. They're very easy to do. They're under the More tab to add a quiz. Markers are for when you want to create a table of contents. We have a whole video about that underneath the screencast coaching program. You can just do a search in there for markers. The only difference between markers in Camtasia 9 is that you have to hit, if you want a marker here, you hit Shift-M and it puts it on there. But anyways, markers, as I said, are just to mark places on here for a table of contents, and sometimes I use them just to mark places where I want to edit or make myself a little note about what I want to come back and do in the video at certain places, so I use it like that. Now, since we are getting to the top of the hour and I do want to have some time for questions, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to produce your video out. So once you've finished adding all the little embellishments to it that you like and made it all fun and everything, and you're all happy with it, you go ahead and choose Share. Local file does pretty much the same thing as custom production. I haven't quite figured out the difference between those, but this is something new that they've added in Camtasia 9. You can send your video to just your hard drive. You can send it up to screencast.com, who will host it for you and give you an embed code to put on a page in your existing website. You can send it to Vimeo, YouTube, Google Drive, My Places. I have no idea where that is. If somebody knows what My Places is, please tell me. What I usually do is just choose Custom Production, New Custom Production. I accept the defaults here. Okay, the only time I'm going to change something in here, I've got this set to 3 frames per second from a webinar I was doing. If it was a video, a real video that I had created, especially if it had animation, I would never have it at 3 frame rates per second because it's going to be all jerky and terrible. I would have it at 15 or 30. So change your frame rates according to how much animation you have in there. The rest of this I'm going to keep by itself. I'm also going to keep that, and of course, since there's a marker in there, it thinks I want a table of contents. The truth is I do not want a table of contents or closed captions or quizzing in this one. So I'm just going to go right through. I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm going to name it what I want to name it, but where am I going to save it? Not where it wants to save it, but in the folder that I have created called Produced. Create a table. I'm going to hit Save, and then I'm going to hit Finish. It's much faster than it used to be in Camtasia 9. No longer do you have to sit there and not be able to do anything in Camtasia before you're able to I hear the music in the background. I hear myself talking. Okay, it's going through it really nicely. All right, now the reason why it's kind of jerky is because I never changed the frame rate from 3 to 30. That's why it's playing kind of jerky for you guys. All right, it's not doing very well with the smoothness of animation. So that just shows you that you need to raise that frame rate. Don't forget to do that. All right, so you can see some of my zooms that came in. See, so I'm focusing people on it. All right, we're halfway through. Okay, at this point I would have zoomed out again had I been doing this for real. Okay, I'm just going to kind of speed through this a little bit. See, this is where I go to Microsoft. All right. Okay, so I didn't put a quiz in or anything, but I just want you to know that I just showed you how to create a whole video. Remember, I didn't start till about 11 after, so we did an entire video in Camtasia in 1 hour. The only thing I started out with was my storyboard. That's the only thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I had three slides in PowerPoint pre-created. So once you get good at this, theoretically, you could make a really short video in about less than 2 hours. If you had your storyboard ready, the reason I'm adding that extra hour on there, even though we only did it in 1 hour, is because I didn't put in all the zooms and pans and annotations and, the quiz I wanted to put in and all that kind of stuff. That probably would have taken me that extra hour. All right, so there you go. Believe me, I know I went really fast. I wanted you guys to get your money's worth. All right, let's see. Karen asked, is there a video about making quizzes? There is a video about making quizzes. Let me show you. Let me go to Learn Camtasia. This is what I want you guys to do when you're inside the screencast video coaching. All right, you can go to topics, and you'll see that I did something on interactivity in here. Wait, blah 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 scenarios. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I've got one all about interactivity, and quizzes are in that. But you can also go into the replays. You can see that they're all, I mean, there's 150 something in there, but to find something, what you need to do is, I think it's right, Control F, yeah. Oh, I got it right this time. Did you see how this little search bar appeared? So I'm going to click quizzes. All right, so what it does is it searches. Oh, here, look at this. I've got a whole webinar about that. Hotspots and quizzes, and I forget half the stuff that we've got in here because we did so many. And then, so replay 136 would be great for that. And then let's see. There's another one, replay 57. I guess I compare the quizzes to the ones you get out of Articulate. And then another one here. This is Lon. I recognize that. He does something with quizzes. All right, so that ought to get you kind of all set in there. All right, you're welcome, Karen. I highly suggest that you take this time. You've got 30 days inside the coaching. The other bonuses are yours for life, but the coaching is only free for 30 days. So really take advantage of that time. Try making some little videos. Come to our sessions live. Ask us questions. Will we demonstrate anything that I shared with you tonight? We can even take over your screen if you're having a problem. We can even take over your screen and show you how to get yourself out of any little issues that you might have come across. All right. Let's see. Sharon says, previously asked, with visuals on different tracks, does the upper row in Camtasia override lower rows? Yes, it does. Things on the top will block out things on the bottom, except if it's, like a transparent call-out or something, then it'll show through. You saw earlier how I had call-outs that were on higher tracks, and you could see the other track below it, but if I decided to make it giant for some reason, yeah, it would completely obliterate what's underneath. You wouldn't be able to see anything. All right. All right. Well, you know what? If there aren't any more questions, that's great. We'll have the replay out sometime around this time tomorrow night. And if you need any help, please show up on the sessions, and Lon and I are there for you. We always have a topic in mind to cover, but then after we cover that topic, we open it up for any coaching or questions on an individual basis. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for coming, and I will see you on the coaching sessions, I hope. Take care. Bye-bye now.